Today, a car that retired a king, and a usurper that never got a shot. The Audi Quattro, the big daddy of Group B. If you're into any form of motorsport, you probably know this car. It's one of the most influential cars ever raced. It was one of the first all-wheel drive road-focused cars, but the first to really nail it. Coupled with that unique sounding, high boosting inline 5 that made over 440 kilowatt by the time it chose to retire, and you can understand why it was the gold standard for Group B. The most unhinged and how's this even legal racing class ever fielded. But everyone knows that story and its tragic ending. But today, I'd like to talk about the legacy after that, the part most people ignore, yet just as impressive. In its golden era, it took 23 World Championship Rally victories and 4 titles, while dominating Pikes Peak 3 years in a row with record-setting runs, culminating in the first sub-11-minute run. In 1987, while Audi was trying to figure out a plan for the future, they ran a near-standard Group A car and won the grueling Safari Rally. They knew all-wheel drive was the future, so they adapted it for the circuit, and at a test session in Nord, South Italy, in the full 600 brake horsepower trim, it topped out at over 400 km an hour, with an average speed of 332 km an hour. In 1988, they entered the American Trans Am Series with the Audi 200 and won the manufacturer's and driver's title. A slightly modified showroom sedan, whipping pure-blood supercars' butts. In 1989, they moved over to the American IMSA series, which had more flexible rules, just the way they like it. Entered the Audi 90 with a 720 horsepower engine in 1989. IMSA ranged from street to circuit and from 1-hour sprints to 24-hour endurance races. You needed an all-rounder to be competitive here. And Audi won 7 out of the 15 races, including victories at California, New York, and Laguna Seca. In 1990, they decided to slap a V8 in it and go home for some DTM. As the newcomers, no one expected much, but at the last stop in Hockenheim, Hans Stuck won both heats, and Audi finished first, second, and third, giving Stuck the Drivers' Championship. And in 1991, it was just rinse and repeat, ironically culminating with another crucial final at Hockenheim. But this time it was Audi's Biela who became champion. Biela then went to France and became French touring car champion on his first attempt, and giving Audi its 3rd title in a row. In 94 they got bored of France and went back home for the newly formed D1 Touring Car Cup. By the last race, the Drivers' Championship was already in the bag, and with a heavy downpour, the Quattros showcased their true potential. A 1-2-3 secured them an easy Manufacturers' Championship as well. In 1996, the Quattro became the touring car champion in 7 countries. That's every championship it entered in, by the way. But in 1998, they banned all-wheel drive from touring car championships. Over an impressive 16-year, multi-disciplined career, the Quattro won 4 World Rally Championship titles, did a record-setting hat-trick at Pikes Peak, a Trans Am win, 2 DTM wins, 11 National Touring Car Championship wins, and a World Touring Car Championship win. All while reshaping not only Rally as we knew it, but also Audi as we knew it. From this car's legacy comes every Audi made ever since. This car was so good when it came onto the scene, and its competitors were so impressed by the new tech that they were happy to lose. Even to a woman. Michèle Mouton. Now there's a lady feminists should be hyping. It really is hard to come up with another car that was this influential and dominating in so many fields, on so many continents, as the Quattro. And I'm glad those boys at Ingolstadt brought the all-wheel drive out of the wild and into modern society. Good clean start, carrying some good speed into here and through there, nice. Breaking hard to make it there, but still carrying some good speed through. Feathering the petrol there, but just making a nice clean line through there. Lifting a little bit there and into this. Just doesn't make it. Really have to wrestle this car through here. Can you get a nice line out? Pretty good. And across the line. The 6R4, standing for 6-cylinder rally 4-wheel drive, and the answer to what happens when you give rally experts F1 tech. Austin Rover saw the huge hype around rally and knew they had to stay in the game. So, in '81, they decided to design a purpose-built car made to win rallies. Starting a collaboration with Williams F1, they looked at the entire production car lineup and decided, yes, the little Metro. And we'll make it 4-wheel drive. Because naturally, they had their sights set on Group E. They knew they had to bring something special to take on those dirt demons. So they went for the smallest package they had for better handling, 4-wheel drive because it was mandatory, and a 3-liter naturally aspirated V6 to sidestep the turbo lag issue, and a rear mid-mounted engine for better weight distribution. They were ticking all the right boxes. At their first outing in 1984 at the York National Rally, and with only 186 kilowatt, it had a commanding lead until an electrical issue retired it. On its next outing in 1985, it sported a longer wheelbase and that iconic super aero look, and it crushed the competition, taking an easy win. For international competition, they modded it even further, with a more angular and aerodynamic body, bigger wheels, wheelbase and track extensions, but the big change came from the motor. A bespoke, naturally aspirated 3-liter V6 24-valve double overhead cam with DNA from the Cosworth DFV. Yes, that DFV. It produced from 186 kilowatt in street trim to over 300 kilowatt in a car that barely breaks a ton, and that's almost as small as a king-size bed. In its first rally in full international trim, it was 6 seconds a mile faster than the rest of the field, with its driver Pond claiming it could be up to 3 seconds a mile faster than the Quattro. Things were shaping up for an epic Group B clash. With the homologation deadline looming, Austin Rover had to pull a trick to get it done. Because the car was purpose-built, with, if I recall, the only purpose-built rally engine, they sold it as a ready-to-race kit car. Basically, all you needed to do was install a harness and a fire extinguisher. And this was proven by Ken Wood, who took delivery of his car on Thursday, sprayed it and added the needed parts, and won the 1985 Sprint Tires Trossachs Rally, its first win, and 6 days before it even became homologated. In its official debut in the 1985 Lombard Rally, it came third overall, only behind the 2 Group B Lancia Delta S4s, who also happened to be debuting on that race. Plagued with bad reliability and numerous retirements, and the death of Group B, it was also going to be the best finish the 6R4 would ever get in World Rally Championship. Lacking the power from turbos, and having to drive the cars only up to 80% to save the motors meant that they couldn't keep up with the Group B pace. But on the international and national level, this wasn't a problem, and it achieved impressive results. Showing up all over Europe in 1986, it won 5 championships and became a force to be reckoned with in all but the very top echelons of rally. By the time it went from drawing board in 81 to rally stage in 85, meant that the naturally aspirated choice had become obsolete, as the turbo lag issue had basically been solved. And with the death of Group B at the end of 1986, it never got its chance to peak. To help Austin Rover, the authorities in Britain allowed them to race with a power limit of up to 300 horsepower. This became the Clubman 300 spec, and they were priced at £16,000, 2/5 of the original price, and you could still negotiate that price. A brand new Group B car for next to nothing? Sign me up! After internal problems, large staff redundancies with the closure of the World Rally Championship program, some stolen cars from the compound, and an internal fraud investigation, it became too much for Austin Rover, and they closed their motorsport department in May of 1987. Owners and Austin came together and made a one-make series to increase racing opportunities, and with competition extensions at national events, meant the 6R4 still got to enjoy a long rally career. But with its roots in Group B, and despite increasing handicaps and penalties, they kept winning for years. Rallycross driver Will Gallop liked it and turboed it to produce over 480 kilowatt, giving him numerous rallycross titles. Others were even modded for hill climbs all over the world. Jaguar even took a couple of the engines, while the two together boarded out to 6.2 litre and stuck it in the XJ220 concept, though they ran into the same naturally aspirated problems and had to switch to just boring out 1 to a 3.5 litre but giving it a twin turbo, and that produced over 400 kilowatt reliably. After everything was said and done and the 6R4 had its day in the sun, people couldn't help but still ask, what if? And we're on. A little bit of wheel spin. A little bit of sliding there. A little bit of oversteer. Nice clean through there. Nice run through there, good speed. Oh, a little bit of lift. Tad oversteer, makes that corner no problem. Using the whole track there, just keeping it in. Oh, will he get the nice line out? It's a pretty nice one out, big solid pull. And across the line.